Hi guys, today in science we are going to do some cooking, okay? So it has been a while, we miss it in our food science classes, so we are going to bring the cooking and a little bit of baking into our kitchen today. But you're gonna be cooking it at home this time, so it's gonna be a little bit different, but it's still gonna be a lot of fun. All right, so I'm gonna introduce us to our ingredients that we're gonna be using today, and then we'll get started. So today we are gonna be making some granola. I don't know if you guys have ever eaten granola, but it is great with yogurt. It's great to top on ice cream too. And if you eat it just with some milk, it can make a great cereal as well. So I actually need granola for my breakfast and I don't have any here and I don't feel like going to H-E-B, so I'm gonna make it. So these are some ingredients that you might have in your home. And you guys might be able to make this as well with your parents. So first watch this video and then go ahead and try it with the recipe that I'm gonna provide for you guys. So the first ingredient that we're gonna be using today to make our granola is our old-fashioned oats, okay? So this is what my box looks like. I got it from H-E-B, but these are used to make granola or to make oatmeal. So first one is old-fashioned oats. The next thing that we're going to be using is nuts. So you can do nuts, you can do seeds, you can kind of do whatever you have on hand you can throw in here. I have some almonds, so I chopped them up and that's what I'm going to be using in this recipe. The next thing that you're going to be needing is some honey. This is going to make our granola sweet and make it that like coated so that it kind of sticks in our mouth and we're just not eating just dry oats, because this is not the funnest thing to eat by itself. So honey is going to be important. We are also going to need some kind of oil. So I have coconut oil. Can you see it? There we go. So that's what I'm going to be using today. But you can use olive oil, you can use canola oil, whatever oil that you have, you can usually make it work for this recipe. The next thing that we are going to use, these are going to be the things that help provide some flavor to our granola. We are going to be using some ground cinnamon. So this is like the cinnamon that's in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You can also use this in a lot of different desserts. And yeah, it makes food taste really, really tasty. So we're going to use some ground cinnamon, some vanilla, and then just the tiniest bit of salt. And my salt broke, so that's why it's in a baggie. But we're gonna use salt as well. So those are the ingredients that we'll be using, and we are going to get started in making our granola. All right, so I'm gonna get set up. The first thing that we're gonna need to do is line our pan with some parchment. So I'm gonna show you how to do this. All right, so here's my cooking pan. You can see it a little bit in the camera. And then I'm going to put some parchment paper down. This is the same kind of stuff that we use every week when we make cookies. So parchment paper helps keep food from sticking to our pans, so it makes cleanup really easy at the end. All right, so once you have this is the new box. So once you have your sheet out, you just pull it until it's the length of your pan, just like that. And then you're going to press down and share. That easy. All right, I'm gonna set this to the side. And this is just getting our pan ready, okay? So I'm gonna set this over here and we'll come back to it. The next thing that we need to do is we need to set our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're gonna set our oven to 350 degrees. So our oven, my oven looks really similar to the oven that we have at school. So I'm just gonna press bake to turn it on. You should hear a beep, and then it already has 350 set. So all I have to do is press start. To make the granola, we are gonna need a few tools in our kitchen. So first we are gonna need a big bowl, and then we are going to need some measuring cups, okay? So I have a 1 cup measuring cup. I have a 1/2 cup measuring cup. It usually says it right here on the side. And I have a 1/4 cup measuring cup. All right, so the first thing that we will need to do in making our granola is measure out 4 cups of the old-fashioned oats. So that's what I will do really quick. So I'm gonna take my 1 cup measuring cup, I'm gonna stick it into my can of oats and measure out 4. So you might have to shake it a little bit to get it level. So here's my first one, 1. Great, so there is our 4 cups of oats. The next thing that we are gonna need is 1 cup of nuts. So this can be almonds, this can be walnuts, this can be pecans, pepitas. You can do seeds if you want, you can do sunflower seeds if you want, you can do whatever kind of seed or nut that will work. And we're gonna do 1 cup. So I actually already measured this out because I had to chop up my almonds, but I will show you how I measure it a little bit, okay? All right, and my measuring cup is overflowing a little bit, and that's okay. With granola, things don't have to be exact. So 1 cup of almonds. All right, the next thing that we are gonna need to do is add our cinnamon. And we are gonna be adding 1 teaspoon of cinnamon to our granola. So I'm going to screw the cap off of my cinnamon, and I'm gonna take the 1/2 teaspoon spoon and get 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. You can shake to make sure that it's like an exact amount. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle it over here so that you can see all, so it gets nice and mixed around, and then I'm gonna mix it some more on top of that. Now that we have our oats, our seeds or nuts, and our cinnamon in the bowl, we can add our liquid ingredients that will give it the nice coating for our granola. So I'm gonna be using coconut oil today, and coconut oil comes out as a solid. So what I need to do is I need to turn this into liquid. So I'm gonna take 1/4 cup of coconut oil, and I'm gonna heat it up so that it's liquid, and then I'll add that to our bowl. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so I heated up our oil, and this took like 20 seconds, so not a long time in the microwave. And now I'm just going to pour it into our granola mixture. All right. The next thing that we need is the same amount, 1/4 cup of honey. And if you don't have honey, you can also use maple syrup. I'm just gonna squeeze 1/4 cup. All right. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to pour this into our granola mixture. And this will probably need some help getting outside of the cup because honey and maple syrup are really sticky. So if you have a little scraper, you can use that. All right, so I'm just gonna use a little rubber scraper, and this will help me get all of that extra honey and maple syrup so that it can go in our granola. All right, just like that. And then the last thing that we need to add is our vanilla extract, and this will just help provide some flavor. And we are going to do 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So for this, you pour it and you just add it like that. Okay, and I know it's a teaspoon because it has the lowercase t and then SP. Some teaspoons only have just a lowercase t, and that means teaspoon. An uppercase capital T is for tablespoon. So once I have everything mixed in here, I'm gonna show you what my bowl looks like. Doesn't that look good? So we have our oats, our nuts or seeds, honey, cinnamon, vanilla extract and our coconut oil. So now I'm just gonna take that rubber scraper that I was using to get the honey out, and I'm gonna mix it all around. All right, so I mixed this for probably like 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure that it was really well mixed together. And now it's gonna be time to put this onto our baking sheet that has the parchment. Oh, and I almost forgot. We need to add just the tiniest bit. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, so once I have 1 teaspoon of salt, I'm going to sprinkle that in. And I'm gonna mix it around again because do you see that salt? Yeah, you don't wanna take a bite of just the salty part. All right, it is time to put this on our baking sheet. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm gonna use this rubber scraper again, and I'm going to take what's inside my bowl and I'm going to scoop it out onto the parchment. All right, so it makes a giant pile. You see that? And we don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spread it out. So with my scraper, I'm just gonna kind of press this down so that it makes a nice, flat, even sheet of granola. All right, so after you spread out your granola mixture, it should look something like this. Kind of like, I think that we made oatmeal bars last year, so that's what it kind of looks like. Okay, so we're just gonna spread it out and it's gonna be a nice even sheet, and then we are going to put this in the oven. Okay, so I just put the granola into the oven, the one that we had set at the beginning of our recipe for 350 degrees, and that is gonna bake for 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm gonna show you how to set a timer on your oven really quick. Okay, so the granola is in the oven and I need to set a timer for 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm gonna come up here and press timer. It says on, off. We're gonna turn it on. You hear the click. And then I'm gonna use this plus sign to add time. So every time I click, it adds a minute. So I'm gonna go all the way up until 25. Perfect. And then I come back over here and I press start. So our timer stopped blinking and that tells me that it's set. Okay guys, so the timer is set, the oven is on, the granola is in the oven, and it is baking. So I will show you what it looks like when it comes out, but for those 25 minutes, this is a great time to wash your dishes. So I have a dirty bowl and spatula. I have a dirty bowl right here. I have some dirty measuring spoons and cups, and it's not gonna get cleaned if I just leave it in the kitchen. So I'm gonna take some time to wash my dishes really quick, and I hope that you guys do too. I just took the granola out of the oven after 25 minutes, and it looks pretty good. It is toasted, and it is sticking together. That's my oven reminding me I need to turn the timer off. And it smells so good. All right, so I'm gonna let this cool. I used a towel or like a pot holder to take this out because it's really hot. And then I'm gonna let this just sit here and cool off and continue to like harden together. But it's really hot, so do not touch it. Okay guys, our granola is cooling and it smells so good. I'm so excited to eat it with my smoothie bowl in the morning. So I hope that you enjoyed this recipe and that you have a chance to make it with your family at home. If you do, please send me pictures. I would love to see them. And I will see you in our next science lesson. Have a great day.